Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It is Lady G from Transform Lives Podcast coming at you today on Facebook and on YouTube. So give me 1 second. I'm going to be plugging in and letting people know I'm on live here after I change my little. How y'all doing out there today? How y'all doing? We got an awesome topic today, and we're talking about we need good people in our lives. We do. We do. People say they don't need anybody, but I beg to differ. We need good people in our life. So I'm going to get this thing straightened, and go live. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'm trying to get myself together, but good evening, everybody. Hi out there in La La Land. How. Hey, everybody, Lottie Dottie, and everybody. It is Lady G from Transform Lives Podcast, and I am coming to you today from Transform Lives Podcast. I'm your host, Lady G. We are live on YouTube and we are live on Facebook. So if you're coming on in, just come in and say hello. Come on in and say hello. Say hello. Come on in and say hello. How's that lighting? How is that lighting? Come on in and say hello. And then we can get the topic going. How about those Ravens, y'all? How about those Ravens? How many of y'all Ravens fans out there? How many of y'all Ravens fans out there in La La Land? Type in a comment. Who's your favorite football team? Who's your favorite football team? Come on in the room, y'all. Come on in the room. It's gonna be a 30-minute segment this evening. And we're gonna talk about a subject that we're all familiar with. But come on in the room. Some of you guys are just peeping in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Don't peep in. Come on in. Come on in. Don't peep in. Come on in. How's everybody doing out there? How is everybody doing out there this evening? Let me know that you're here. I see one person on. I'm looking for these 5 people to come on. 3 to 5 people anyway, before I get to start rolling. Share the live. Share the live. It's Lady G from Transform Lives Podcast. Share the live. Share the live. And then we're gonna start the topic. We're gonna start the topic. Again, I'm Lady G from Transform Lives Podcast. It is Wednesday. And sometimes I might make the mark and come on at 7:30, and sometimes time doesn't allow me to, so I don't come on until I can come on. I see my internet is trying to come back on. It's back on. I'm trying to see if I can get 1 to 3 people in the room. So share the live, you guys. Share the live. It's Lady G from Transform Lives Podcast coming at you this evening. Won't be here too long, about 30 minutes into this segment. We are live on Facebook and we are also live on YouTube. And so I'm trying to get 1 to 3 people in here. I'm sorry, at least 3 people on, and we'll start the live. We'll start the topic. I'm really trying not to turn on that fan. I tell you, I'm really trying not to turn on the fan. But hey. What can I say? What can I say? I'll start in about 2 minutes. In about 1 to 2 minutes, I'll start. 1 to 2 minutes, I'll start. Okay, so I have two topics really. I have two topics, and one, my husband gave me a topic as well. I have two topics this evening. I have two topics. So, one of the topics I have is good people, and we do need people in our lives. Uh, and then the second one I have is how neighborly can you be to the unneighborly person, right? So, with that being said, the topic of we need good people in our life. All of us need somebody. We need a circle of friends and family that can be very supportive to us. Regardless of what folks say, seclusion is not a good thing. Seclusion reminds me of somebody who's dealing with maybe a sort of a depression or is in a depressed state when you secluding yourself. I know people been hurt. A lot of people been hurt. A lot of times people have said, I don't want to be bothered with folks. I don't want to deal with folks. People will hurt you. I'm not allowing anybody in my space no more because I don't trust people. And when you don't trust anyone, and it's hard to trust, I get it. It's hard to trust, I get it. But when you don't trust someone, anyone, not one person. And I know people say I don't trust nobody with God, but when I say that, I'm talking about allowing folks to be your support system, allowing folks to be your friend, your associate, support you in any way necessary, and it can be there for you when you need them. Because I truly believe everybody needs somebody at some point in time in life. We all need somebody. Yes, I have my husband, but my husband can relate to certain things, but only another female can relate to certain things, right? And so when you can't find anyone in your circle, it's not a good thing. I believe you become sheltered and secluded. And some people said I'm okay with that, but in all reality, you get lonely. You get lonely. Some people need companions as their friend, and they want a companion as their friend, and that's nothing wrong with that either. I say we all need somebody. We need people. Whatever. I beg the difference. You know that song, "I need you, you need me to survive." I need me. I need you. You need me to survive. Right? That's the song. I need you. You need me to survive. Give me 1 second. See. All right, you on, Kim? I see you now, Kim. Hi, Kim. How are you? So I honestly believe that we all need somebody. That song, "You Need Me, I Need You, You Need Me." That song. I truly believe that we all need somebody. At some point in time, you need a support system. And very important for us to have prayer circles as well, because we need people to, embrace us. When we need to be embraced, we need God to put people in our lives to bless us, to inspire us, to encourage us, to pray for us. So for somebody to say, I don't need anyone, I believe it's a sign of seclusion and a more deeper issue when folks go around saying, I'm good, I don't need anybody. Hold up, I need to clean these glasses. Gotta find something to clean these glasses. And When folks walk around and say, I don't need anyone, like I said, it's most likely a sign of a more deeper issue, a more deeper problem, because they have then since put themselves in seclusion. So, with that being said, I have to ask you, if you feel like you don't need anyone, what is it that what happened to you that you feel like you don't want to be involved, you don't even want to include yourself in anything. I have family members who decide that they don't want to do anything, they don't want to be around folks, they choose not to be around folks, they're okay being by themselves. And I find I beg to differ, because we all need somebody. And that family member, I'm going to continuously invite them. I'm going to continuously to gatherings. I'm going to call them. I'm going to check on them, because I know it's a deeper issue when they say, I'm okay, I'm good being by myself. I'm good by being by myself. I just think it's a different issue. We all need somebody in our life, right? We need somebody. I don't care how much you think you don't, you do. We got people, God put people on the earth as well to help each other, to support each other, to encourage each other, and to pray for each other. So if you're in that mindset that you don't need anyone, I just wanna pray that you find someone, that God sends someone that you can begin to trust, right? To begin to trust, to be your person. And I know it's hard to trust folks. God knows I know it's hard to trust folks, and a lot of time people will say, I don't trust anyone. I've been hurt too many times. I'm not doing it. I'm not allowing anybody in my circle. And you can be very discreet with how you want them to be in your life. You don't have to walk around telling your entire life story, nor do you have to tell them your business. But being a support, allowing someone to be supportive to you, is a blessing. It has to be something deeper within that person when they say they don't need anyone. They go into a deep depression. I truly believe they go into a deep depression. So we all need somebody. That's my topic for tonight. Why do we need people? Why do we need people? We need people for a numerous of reasons, and God has placed people in our lives to bless us, to be encouraging, and then God may give you an assignment to be there for someone else, just to be there for someone else. Sometimes it's not even about you; it's about that other person that God is going to assign to you to do what He needs you to do for that person. So we all need somebody. You find yourself in a situation where you don't think you need anyone. I'm asking God to send someone to you where you can open up your heart to that person, in order for that person to be your crutch, right? We all need somebody that we can depend on to talk to. Yes, I have a husband, and I'll say that, but my husband can't talk to me about certain things that another woman can talk to me about, right? So pray for those persons, to God bring you those type of people in your life. Be very careful. Have a discerning spirit. But those who want to be your friend, but have but I'm praying on you. Preying. I often say that I'm very particular about who is in my circle. I'm very, very particular. I'm very particular about who comes into my circle at this age and juncture in my life. Um, I'm like that too. I can honestly say I'm like that too. But then I have friends, certain friends. Every friend is not going to be the same. Every friend is not going to, give you the same things that another friend may give you. But you take them for who they are and love up on them. I have friends, the majority of my friends are long-standing friends that I have for years. That means I know them and they know me, right? We've grown to love each other, and sometimes we don't have to talk for months out of end, but we are still friends. We still love each other. We don't have to talk to each other every day. I can talk about this one friend about this. I can talk to this one friend about this, but don't feel comfortable talking to another friend about the same thing. And vice versa, vice versa. But you take your friends for who they are to you, and allow them to be your friend. Allow them to be your friend. Everybody is not going to be who you want them to be either. So don't try to put labels on your friend. Don't try to change your friends. I say be, prayer warriors for them. If you one of those people who believe in the power of prayer, and I hope that you are, pray for that person, encourage that person, be there for that person. But by no means I'm allowing you. I'm asking you to allow them to emotionally drain you either. No, because we have some friends that love dumping. We yeah, yeah, yeah. I say it again. We have some friends that want to just dump on you, just dump their burdens on you, right? And that's not what your job is. Your job might be to tell them, girl, go lay them burdens to Jesus, because I can't handle them. I got enough of my own, right? And it's okay to be emotionally supportive to those friends. It's okay, but it's not okay for them to dump on you constantly and consistently, and then you become a dumping post, right? Just like you're like the dumpster or the dumping. What is that thing that they go and deliver? All the trash at, right? And you just become that person for them. And that's not a friend. You know what I mean? Now, the other thing about it is some of us want people to be reciprocate. Some of us want our friends to reciprocate what we do for them. We want them to reciprocate and do the same thing for us. Let me tell you, that's not always the case. That's not all, and you should not love them any different, because they are who they are and you are who you are. Don't think, and that's that person says, you know what, you did this for me, I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do the same for you. But don't put them expectations on that friend to be that friend that you are to them. Friendship is totally different. Everybody defines friendship differently, and expect that. You know what I mean? Expect that. But if you love that person as a friend, and y'all bonding and y'all having a good friendship, and I'm talking to males and females, um, it's okay. But don't look for them to be the friend that you are. I heard them saying one time, I'm a friend to her, but she's not a friend of me. Well, what are your expectations of that friend? Are you expecting that friend to do what you did for them? Are you expecting them to do the same for you? It may not go that way. It may not always pond out that way. So think about that. Think about it. But my long-standing friends and friends that I grew up with and things like that, I have a handful that I can talk to about. Like, I know I have a friend that hold grudges. So you know what I mean. And I have a friend that's very sensitive. I have a friend that, you know, that if somebody doing something to me, they ready to jump, they ready to step in and take care of them, bro. And I'm like, no, I don't need you to do that. I have a friend that is don't choose to be around my other friends. Just and that's okay. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't meant to be in one circle together. Just because she my friend don't mean that she got to be your friend. You know what I mean? And we make the mistake of putting those friends together, and they don't mesh. They don't mesh, and you can't blame them. You know what I mean? You just can't blame them if they not your. If I have three friends over here and I have two friends over here to say I don't want to be around your other three friends for whatever reason, I can't be mad. Remember, I said they all got different personalities, right? They all have different personalities. That don't mean I have to force them to all to be together. They're my friends for whatever reason. They're my associates for whatever reason. So I'm not going to try to always mesh them together. So we all need somebody. I truly believe that. I may not talk to a friend for a month. You know what I mean? But I may call this friend, and if I tell you one thing, if I had for all of them, if I need something, if I really was in dire need, and I rarely go to them. I don't think I have went to anyone recently within the last since I've been married to ask anybody for anything because I have a husband. I tell you what, if I needed something, I could go out of five of them. Three of them will say, you know, here you go. The other two may say, when you gonna give it back? And you can't get upset because they asked for it back. That's just how they are. That's just who they are. You can't say to them, "Oh, you asking me for money back after I did such and such and so for you," but you did it out the kindness of your heart. If you did it out the kindness of your heart and you going to them asking for them for something years later, you can't go throw that back in their face and say, "Oh, I did this for you back then. I ain't asked you for nothing when I offered to give you something. I did this and this for you." Well, that wasn't one of your stipulations, but this is their stipulation. So you cannot be mad. You have to love them for who they are. Each one of my friends have different personalities, as I say. Now, do we get did we get into little bickers and disagreements? Disagreements, yeah. You say what you gotta say, I say what I gotta say, and we didn't moved on. We didn't moved on. It's gone. It's done. Everybody's different. You can't put labels on people the way you want them to be. Either you're going to accept them for who they are, or you're not going to accept them at all. It's just plain and simple. It is plain. It's just plain and simple. You're going to accept them for who they are, or you're not going to accept them at all. It's just plain and simple as that. So I beg to differ for those who say I don't need anybody. I don't need any friends. You have placed yourself in a place of seclusion. And I hope you find yourself out of it. Hope you find your way out of it because I truly believe we all need somebody. We all need a friend or two. We all need a friend or two. You know what I mean? And some people say, "Oh, well, I don't need nobody. I got God." Well, God put people in your life as well. You know what I mean? He do. He do. He does. He does. But be have a discerning spirit when you are accepting these friends in your life. Have a discerning spirit, right? Every friend is not going to be the same. They're not going to be the same. Don't look for one to be like the other because they're not. They're not. Now, what do you define as a friend? How do you define the word friend? Can somebody tell me? Can somebody type the word in? What does the word friend mean to you? How do we define friends? Because then people will start saying because somebody did something to you, you've been to say, "Oh no, she ain't my friend." That ain't no friend because a friend wouldn't do that. "Oh, I guess she my associate." That's my associate. What's the difference between a friend and an associate? But I say to you, you know, if you say that person is your friend, they're your friend. Don't put something. Don't put labels on them friends. It is what it is. It is what it is. If you just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Lady G from Transform Lives Podcast, and we getting down with the get down today. We talk about friendship, and we talk about that old saying, "I don't need nobody," because we did. All of us need somebody in our life. You know what I mean? Even if you got a mate, you still need that friend. And let's talk about it. Can you have friends of the opposite sex? Can you have a friend of the opposite sex? Let's talk about it. Can you? And you are married. I'm gonna put another stipulation on it because that's when it gets deep, right? That's when it gets deep. How many of y'all females? Because I've heard females say as well, "I don't want to deal with women. They're too catty. I'd rather be around men. Like men aren't catty. Because men are catty just as catty as women are." Y'all better go over that. Let me roll my eyes one more time. Because men are just as catty and they talk just as much as women. Don't tell me they don't because they do. They do. Some of them talk more than women. Girl, please. Boy, please. Some of y'all talk way, way more than women. You know? But nevertheless, all right, if nobody want to talk about it, we won't talk about it. But let's talk about having, like I said, what about your husband allowing you to have friends of the opposite sex? Okay. Okay. And so tonight, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. How many of y'all have friends who say, I'd rather seclude myself? I don't want no friends. I've been hurt too much. Look, God put people on earth for us to love up on each other. You know, it depends if the spouse is okay with it. It's a no for me. I understand this is a no for you, but is it a no because why? Because you don't trust the female? You know what I mean? Is it because you don't trust the female, or you don't trust him around females, or you had a bad experience? Niece, come on, let's talk about it. Let's elaborate, because I can honestly say my husband had a friend, right? When we got back together, after being apart so many years, right? My husband had a female friend. And this wasn't just a friend, this was a friend he had dealt with in the past. Okay? Let's talk about it. This was a friend that he had dealt with in the past. They no longer dealt with each other, but they were still friends. After you deal with somebody, can you still be their friend, or do you feel like one day you might cross the line? This is when I feel like, and I'm listening. I'm waiting for you to comment, Kenya. But this is what I'm talking about when I talk about the level of trust you have to have for your mate, right? And then you position yourself. And what do you mean? What do you mean, Lady G? What do you mean by positioning yourself? You make yourself known to that friend. You make yourself visible to that friend. And you have a conversation with that friend. Because first of all, I had to grow into that. I had to grow. I wasn't for that, Kenya. It was a no for me too. Trust me, it was a no for me too. But then my husband sat me down, right? My husband talked to me. He told me. He said, look, she's a friend. That means that she was his friend before I entered back in his life. Now, let me tell you, if the tables were turned and we were already together, and all of a sudden this female wants to be his friend, that would have been a no to me. But because they had already established this friendship, I had to do one or two things. I had to say no or okay and trust my man, right? It's not about trusting her, because I'm gonna make myself visible, right? I'm gonna make sure she knows, and I'm gonna present myself as being that one and that one only. And I don't have to do that with words. I can do that with my stance, right? Of who I am and comfortable in who in the skin I am, right? So one of the things when he told me that she was his friend, and he was still visible in her grandchildren's life, I'm like, okay, we had to have adult conversations, right? I asked all the pertinent questions. Why y'all still friends? And the reasons he gave me, and I'm not going to put it out there to him because that's too much of his business, but I was okay with it. And then first, I'm telling you, I gave that stance. I was like, nope, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But then I had a conversation with her. She and I talked, and we talked about, their friendship, what he meant to her, what she meant to him. They had a friendship love. It wasn't nothing more, nothing less. He told me about their history, told me why it didn't work out, why they weren't together again, yet they remained friends. Again, I had to give my stand, okay, and I had to put my feelings that were on my shoulder. I had to throw them away and say, I'm gonna trust my man. And I said, what am I gonna do when they talk on the phone? Am I gonna get, all flustered, you know? But it was times that he allowed me to sit in the room when he was on the phone with her. You know what I mean? It was times that I walked in, they were on the phone talking. And it wasn't like they hung out together, because they didn't. It wasn't like they, talked often, because they didn't. But again, like I said, he was still in her grandchildren's life as a role model. So if he's in her grandchildren's life, then quite naturally they're going to talk about have conversation, right? But nevertheless, I did have an opportunity to meet her face to face. There was no, I wasn't feeling threatened or none of that because I was comfortable within myself, that I knew where my place was, and I trusted him. All right, Kenya, you said I trust my husband. It's the females that I don't trust. I mean, now if he had friends before me, then that would be something we would have had to discuss. Period, point blank, niece. Got you. Because I say the same thing. You know what I mean? And sometimes, it could come to that, that bonding, that emotional bonding. But when you don't know somebody, you getting to know that person. Say, for instance, your husband is on a job or whatever, and he meets, he had female and male coworkers, and they're in the lunchroom and they kicking in, and then the female she coming in, and she's cool with your man or whatever. And they have a conversation, and all of a sudden she telling them about homeboy at the house. No, we not doing that. That's emotional bonding. The only person that you're gonna emotionally bond with is me. Right, Kenya? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because we already know that when females and male bond together in conversation, sometimes it can go to a whole different level. I don't care what nobody say. A man can be on here and be like, nope, 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 nope. Yes. Yes. Because we are emotional creatures, and that's the first thing we a man can be attracted to you physically, but he also can be attracted to you emotionally, right? It's because men really feel like they want to be needed. You gotta know that about a man, right? Especially when you get in a relationship with a man, he wants to feel needed. What's the point of him being there if you don't need him? If a real man, a provider, he's gonna want you to need him, and that's just it. I need my husband. I need my man. Yeah, I need him for X, Y, Z, B, D, and A. Right? So emotional the emotional connection comes, and then all of a sudden, you know things laying on. So absolutely not, I get that. But what they've already established a relationship with female friends. um you have to be honest with yourself to say whether or not you be able to trust that relationship, and it be nothing more than a friendship. And I think maturity sets in with that. That's a mature thing, because I've heard a lot of women say no, he can't be no friend. He can't be friends with a female. If I'm stepping in the line and I'm the only woman that's gonna be in his life, he ain't gonna have no other female friends. And I have a limit to. I'm sorry, it just had to be one. I'm sorry, I got a limit. But nevertheless, what about men? Y'all know they territorial. Men are territorial. Now ask me if the tables would turn. Well, my husband would be okay with that if the tables would turn. I'm going to absolutely say I don't think so. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think, because they are territorial and they are very protective creatures, right? And they don't want nobody in your husband, another man in your woman's ear as a friend. And I can honestly say, men know how they are, how they set up, how their make is set up. So they're probably going to say no. What you guys think? If the tables were turned and you went into a relationship with a male friend and you told your mate, no, I have a buddy, I have a male buddy, and we kick it, we good. You know what I mean? Would he be okay with that? Probably not. Absolutely not. He's not going to be okay with that. I don't care what nobody say. Give me one man on here. Tell me, would you be okay with your female friend, your wife, or your female friend having a male? Would you be not at all? Absolutely not, TC. Absolutely not. Why is that? Why do we? Why is it like that, y'all? Why do you think it's okay? It's okay. Is it because they are territorial? Is that an excuse? Are we excusing these men for being territorial? No, the tables wouldn't be turned. TC, let me ask you that question, since you on here and you're engaging with me, and I thank you very much for engaging with me. What if your husband had a female friend? you know. And I mean, y'all, I can't even ask you that because y'all been together too long. Y'all been together since teenagers, so I can't even ask you that. But I mean, if you really, really think about it, TC, if you really think about it, y'all got together young, and you know, and suppose y'all didn't get together young, but y'all got together as a little older, and he had a female friend. Would you be okay with that? You said it wouldn't work out. Well, you talking about, well, in my instance, Kenya, they were talking about the children. Um, well, I don't think at that point, because we're a little older now. TC said, no man, no man. We're a little older now. So then at that break, they were talking about the children a lot. Um, they were talking about her health at that time. Um, and at that time when I came in, I believe at that time her health was declining. But prior to that, I can't really go into what they used to talk about. I don't know, but I do know that there was no interaction. And I believe when he said that there was no interaction as far as them being physically attracted to each other again anymore. And it's just a friendship just laid there as a friend. You can actually talk about anything. I mean, he was a single man at the time. You know what I mean? So he had time to sit back and just talk and encourage her, and you know, just conversations and period. Just conversation. Hey, Niecy, you like it, Niecy? So now talking to my Niecy, lovely Drea. But what I'm saying is, at that time they were older. You were older and more mature, and you talked about a lot of things. I mean, granted, I mean, y'all say, what could they be talking about? What could they be talking about? Hmm. Just general conversation. Don't necessarily have to be about anything in particular. Just general conversation. Just general conversation, y'all. What's wrong with having a general conversation? It don't necessarily have to be in particular. Would you like to sit in a room and find out what they're talking about, Kenya? Charging my phone. Trying to charge my phone. Okay. There we go. Kenya? Uh-oh. What happened? Okay. There we go. I think I truly believe it's a trust issue. I truly believe it's a trust issue. You should know whether or not the conversation wouldn't be the same. You talking about as far as what, can you talking about as far as elaborate a little bit? Are you talking about because um the friendship that my husband had with her was long standing, and it was because he still was a a role model for her grandchildren, and they talked about the grandchildren a lot. They talked about things like that. You just asked your husband, and he said no, that you couldn't have a male friend. Oh my goodness, he said absolutely no. Did you see what I'm saying? How the roles are different? Did you ask him why? Did you ask him why? I mean, I don't want him to ask a question, but he give you the answer with a question and say, "Why would you want to? What y'all want to talk? What is things to talk about?" Ask them why. Is it because they're territorial? Is it that? Because I truly believe that men won't have the relationship, allow another a female to have a male relationship because they're territorial. And let's face it, they're territorial. And they don't want nobody in that woman's space or in that woman's ear. What is it? Well, come on, y'all. You agree? Kingdom Journey, you agree? Is that what it is? How are you? So is it that Kingdom Journey? I'm talking to somebody on YouTube. Is it because men are territorial and jealous, but yet still, if they had female friends, they would want us to accept a female friend? Come on, y'all. Come on, now. This is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. Because when you're mature and you know what you have at home, you wouldn't even think about jeopardizing that. But it's a sense of being comfortable with your mate and knowing your mate. Because the first thing a man will say, oh, I just don't trust him. It's not you I don't trust. I just don't trust him. Come on now. Don't give me that lame excuse. Because I'm only going to allow a man to do what I'm allowed a man to do. So are you going to trust me enough to know that I won't have that man crossing any boundaries? And if he crossed that boundary, then no, we can't be friends anymore. You have to respect my relationship. And if we're friends, we're friends. We don't have to talk every day, but you can be my friend. They know how they think, Kingdom Journey. Exactly. 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 I say to you, and the conversation started off with, we all need somebody. And regardless of how you are or who you are, you do need somebody. And you shouldn't be finding yourself in secluding yourself and being by yourself. Allow people to love up on you. Allow people to encourage you, to pray for you. Know your friends. Know who they are. And know if they are a friend to you. I'm sorry. And know that if you are a friend to them and they aren't a friend to you, don't define that as a friendship, because everybody is different. Everybody is different. You know what I mean? Oh, can you said no, y'all feel the same way. But then that's okay. That's quite all right. And that's the relationship y'all have. That's the relationship you have. She says, no, we both feel the same. They feel as though the male shouldn't have a female friend, and the female feels as though the male shouldn't have a female friend. The female shouldn't have a male friend, and the male friend shouldn't have a female friend. And that's quite all right, because I'm gonna tell you now, like I said, I was okay with my husband having his friend. I was okay with it. Was I okay with it at first? No. Did I had to grow into that? Yes. I had to trust my husband. I had to sit down and we had to have a conversation. And as to why you need to still be her friend when you got me. I'm your only friend. I'm your only friend. I should be anyway. But I understood why. I truly did. I knew my position. I knew my place. I knew him. I knew I needed to trust him, or the relationship wasn't going to work. Trust is a big factor. And sometimes, I'm going to tell you, sometimes in relationship, you must compromise. You must. Now, some things, some say is a deal breaker for me. That's a deal breaker for me. I'm not having this and the other. That's a deal. And that's your right to say that you have that deal breaker. It's okay to say that's a deal breaker for me. And I'm not going to allow you to have another woman in your space. I'm the only queen. I'm the only queen. I'm the only one. And that's a deal breaker. Then you move on. That person wasn't for you. Okay. Okay, Benita said we have integrated our friends and we have become friends. There's both male and female alike. Okay. There's a level of mutual respect. That's it. Discernment will show you who can be allowed in that space. Bingo. That's it right there. That's it right there. Did anybody agree with Benita? I truly believe it. I'm going to read it again. We have integrated our friends, and she's a married woman. We have integrated our friends, and we all have become friends, both male and female alike. There's a level of mutual respect. That's the word right there, mutual respect. Discernment will show you who can be allowed in that space. Come on now, because everybody can't be in that space. Now, let's flip the script. Is this friend always wanted to be known, always wanted to be seen, always was calling, was needy, right? And was trying to make me feel subservient to her? It wouldn't have happened because that wasn't mutual respect. That wasn't respect, right? So if those boundaries would have been crossed, of course, I wouldn't have allowed it. It'd have been a deal breaker for me. Plain, point blank, and period. Point blank and period. It would have been a deal breaker for me. So I say to you, that was the top of tip of the iceberg right there. To me, that was the best. And I'm not taking away from anybody else because Kenya said her and her husband said no. For whatever reasons, they said no. Right? Then there was TC, no. There, and she's married as well. And then there's Benita who just hit it right on the head. And you don't have to be married to make to join into this conversation, because you can be a friend, or you can have a friend, a partner, a friend, but you can also be single, and you can talk about your opinion here. It's nobody opinion is better than the other one, right? Everybody has opinion for whatever reason. We all have one, right? So I tell you, come on here. Come on here and let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. But I really like what Benita said. I really did. Everybody said what they felt, what they thought. Some people will feel like that person will want to take over and be that number one. And that wasn't my case. That wasn't my case, because if it had been, she'd have been, I'd have had to tell my husband, we can't do this. You can't do, but I didn't know the reason why. And it's all about compromising. I truly believe it's about compromising when you're in a relationship. You have deal breakers as well. And if you have a deal breaker, you need to come to the door with that deal breaker. You can't be in the relationship and putting out deal breakers, because you should know, your partner should know you want you in that relationship. Okay, let's go on to see what Kingdom Journey it says. The people who said no might feel like they don't need friends of the opposite sex because their spouse is enough. And I don't think the word is need. Kingdom building, kingdom journey. I don't think the word is need. Because I don't think we necessarily need friends of the opposite sex. I truly believe that we all need somebody in our life, friends, associates, to do certain things for us. But then when you start differentiating because of the genders, I was basically saying, if that person, if you decided to have a friend, well, come on, how about this? Let me just not try to put everybody's answer out there. Let me ask the folks who are looking. Do you think you don't need a male friend because you have your mate? Do you think you don't need a male friend? I'm talking to females. And if a male is listening, do you think you don't need a female friend because you have your mate? And to the females, do you think you don't need male friends because you already have a mate? It's a possibility, Kingdom Journey. It's a possibility. That could be a reason as well. Because you said they already have their mate. In this juncture in my life, my husband is my best friend, right? He's on top of the list of my friends, but my husband can't relate to certain things I can relate with a female, right? But I call him my friend, my best friend, because if I'm gonna be transparent and naked to anybody, and when I say naked, I mean vulnerable. My most vulnerable state is gonna be with my husband. I cannot be, and I'm not taking this away from any of my friends, but I can't be in my naked state and my most vulnerable state to my female friends. I can't. I can't. But can I be that way with my husband? Yes. Because, see, am I wrong for that, yo? Am I wrong? Am I wrong for that kingdom journey? Am I wrong for not being the most vulnerable to my female friends, or the most naked to my female friends? I cannot. I can't. I'm vulnerable and naked, meaning that no bars held, talk to my husband about anything and everything. But I can't do that to all my friends. And all my friends are different, though. They're different. And I can share different things with my friends. Like I said, I have a friend that don't want to be around my other friends, just choose not to be, and I won't force them. I have a friend that hold grudges. I have a friend that if somebody bothers me, they ready to go to bat for me. I have a friend that I don't talk to often, but when we get to talking, we talk about any and everything. I have a friend that prays for me and prays with me. Every friend is different. Some friends I can't bring all my friends together, and I'm going to hold them to that either. They're my friends. Just because they're my friends doesn't mean that they have to be each other. They have to be there for my friends have to be friends of my friends. Okay, Kingdom Journey, absolutely not. I'm not wrong for that, huh? What do you guys suggest? What do you guys? Are you naked and are you vulnerable to all of your friends? Let's talk about it. Do you tell your friends every single thing about you, about what's happening with you, your thoughts? I can't do that. Now, ask me why. That's okay. I'm going to tell you anyway. Because experience taught me not to. See, experience taught me when you have that mate that you know won't walk around, tell everybody your business, even when he's mad at you, won't go run into his sister, his mother, his buddy, and tell everything about you or want to discuss things about you, the most intimate things about you. Why are you with him? Why are you with him? My biggest mistake was to talk. Not at all. Absolutely not, Kingdom Journey. My biggest mistake, you know, was to trust wholeheartedly and to friends that I thought would hold secrets. Come on now. How many of y'all, how many of y'all telling y'all secrets out there to your friends? How many of y'all telling y'all secrets? How many of y'all telling nobody should know your secret but the Lord? And if you have a mate and you want to share that, share that. Honey, you can't reveal your secrets to somebody. You can't put them in the hands of a man, and I'm talking about a human being. You can't put your secrets in the hand of a human being because we are not flawless. We have the propensity to sin. We have the propensity to sin, y'all. And we might even do it and do it right innocently. Right? Because we are sinners saved by grace. I can't. I can't now. I can reveal something because of discerning, because of the discernment of God. Because God said you can express yourself to this person, and you have the discerning spirit to say to that person, "Look, I know I can talk to you about this." Bam! Right then and there, you don't even have to say, "Look, I'm gonna tell you this, but don't tell nobody." Because if you said that, then why even tell them? Because you had to tell them, don't tell nobody. But if you say, I can talk to you about this. That should let them know right then and there. She can't talk to everybody about this. So she expressing herself to me. She about to tell me something that I know I can't run my mouth about. Or what's the reason for it? And sometimes we slip up though. We slip up. But ask for forgiveness for that. We slip up though. We definitely slip up. Be very careful what you disclose and who you disclosing to. Sometimes they be itching though. I'm telling you, be itching. You be like, you know what? Whew, I need to talk to somebody about this. Mm, I need to talk to somebody, but this is itching. Go to God first. Ask him. But God, who can I talk to this? I need to get this off my chest, God. I need to talk to them about this, God. I need to talk to sometimes you want to talk to your mate about it, but then your mate, some men, they don't reciprocate back to what your female friend can reciprocate. Oh, just a listening, just be a listening ear. Better write it down and tell nobody. But you know what? Excellent Kingdom Journey. I gotta charge you on that one because when you talking, you writing it down, honey. You don't know who can get a hold of that. You don't know who. Your journals. Your journals. You better hold them journals in a secret place because you never know who will get a hold of them journals, honey, and read your whole life story. Okay. I stopped journaling because I was like, ooh, who gonna get a hold of this one day and see this? I can lose that journal. It can go get in the hands of the wrong person. So I just tell it to God and be done with it. I like to write down some of my thoughts, my prayers. I don't write those down. I write my prayers down and things like that. But I don't know about telling so much to a journal, right? Look, y'all, it's 9:41. It's been good. If y'all don't have any more questions, this was a good dialogue. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. We talk about the need of having friends, um, and having somebody in our space. God gives us certain people for our journey. This is Bonita again, y'all. Let me read it out loud. God gives us certain people for our journey, the particular issue. Those selected are to be instruments being used. Come on. Come on. I can't see. Okay. Being used for your growth and testimony. That's great. That's awesome because we ought to be praying for and having discernment of who we can to tell who what for. Because sometimes people in our lives, then they have an assignment to be in our life, and sometimes we are an assignment to be in other people's life. So you're right; it is used for our growth and our testimony. So the discerning, there's that word again. Discerning, having a discernment, and God put selected people in our space to reveal certain things to talk to, be comfortable with. You know, I was so I was thinking about how God will send people in your life as an assignment and just for a journey, and a season. Everybody's not sometimes not meant to stay for a lifetime. Cherish those folks. Um, I got my pointers coming out. Cherish those folks. Make sure that you are not um, allowing yourself to be used. When you are allowing folks in your space, make sure put it this away. I don't have to put those pointers out there if your discerning spirit is allowing those folks in. Just pray. Pray to God. And sometimes you just need to sit back and just listen. You need to wait to hear from Him. All right. We all need somebody. If you're in seclusion and you're not with anyone, if you don't have any friends, and I pray that God brings somebody in your life that can be a beacon of light to you because I truly believe you're in darkness when you're just sitting home and you're secluding yourself. I believe that the spirit of depression will come in and just try to make you comfortable and complacent with not being around folks. Um, Folks are in our lives for seasons and reasons. Allow God to use those folks to be your assignment. So I truly pray for you today. Without further ado, if you're not saved, I have a God mm, like no other. And I have a Savior. His name is Jesus. And I truly believe that He died for us, that God gave Him up to be for our sins. And He's God's only begotten Son. He died, He got up, He rose again so that we can have eternal life. He's gone to prepare a place for us. And if you believe that He died, you confess it with your mouth and believe it with your heart, and you are saved. God will come in. The Holy Spirit will dwell within you, and your life will be ever changing. It will change. I can tell you that I'm a testament to that. I will never cross and go back. Has it been peaches and cream? No, I won't lie to you and tell you that this life is peaches and cream. But I'm telling you, with God, with God in it, I'm a winner. I'm a winner. So if you believe in your heart and confess with your mouth that Jesus died for us and rose again and gone to, you can have eternal life. And so that's my prayer for you today. If you need someone to pray with you, inbox me. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, inbox me. Send me a message. Let's talk. I'm here. My divine intervention for today was nothing more to give you encouraging words. I am, my gift is the gift of encouraging. So, with that being said, if you need me, reach out and touch me. You all have a blessed day, an awesome day. And thanks everyone for tuning in today. This was an awesome dialogue today. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. If you want to be a guest, inbox me. You know somebody, inbox me. I'm taking. I want to fill my calendar up. I want to bless somebody. I had a couple people on, and if you're one of those who want to tell your story, you're one of those who um, thank you, TTC. If you're one of those people who have a business and want to come on and talk about your business, talk about what you're doing for the community, if you know somebody, send them my way. God does this. I don't do it. God do it. God does it. I don't ask for any money. I offer the platform. God blesses me in turn as I bless others. You all have a blessed day. Good night. Good night,